Hello and welcome back to my channel, Kissed by Starlight. Thank you so much for being here. So today I wanted to pull some cards and ask our angels, guides and helpers for information on where you're at in your path right now. You know, what's happening for you in your path right now, and what are the next steps available. So we've got you are wanted, there is home waiting within. Beautiful, beautiful message there. So already there's an idea of this needing to, you know, that very kind of coined phrase, come home to yourself, come back to the nurturing, the sanctuary that is you, that is your heart, that is your warmth, that is your light, that is your radiance. And I have a sense that you're somebody that very much spreads this radiance out to others, to the world, and perhaps you are looking at this radiance always as something that comes outside of you, you know, something that is outside of you. Perhaps you're looking to someone or something else for love, compassion, radiance, or things that really the angels, the guides, the helpers are asking you to look within. So perhaps you're at a stage in your life where you've had to really coming back to your own self. Maybe something's happened in life that's caused you to go within, to need to be alone, to need to be still. Perhaps there are storms in life, situations in life that you've been having to face, to weather, or feeling that you've been surrounded by. There's been a lot of astrology. There's been a lot of astrology in the past months, weeks, you know, that has been, of course there's been a lot of astrology. That sounds silly, doesn't it? What I mean by that is, that's these funny words. What I mean by that is there's been big astrology, there's been huge things, shifts and planetary movements and happenings, and this sense of time just almost being completely eradicated. It's like there is no time, or that we're losing sense of time, and we've had to evaluate our relationship with time. You know, what does it mean to us? How are we using it? Are we using it wisely? Are we making the most of it? Of course, it's a human construct, but you know what I mean? I mean, I've certainly found myself, you know, having conversations with other people who are also saying sometimes it's hard to know which day of the week it is. It's as if we're traveling a week when we've only had a day, you know, because so much is going on multidimensionally at all levels. There's so much going on, and we're doing a lot of work even in our sleep time. So even in dream time, we can be waking up in the morning feeling quite tired, as if we've had a whole load of you know, maybe a year's worth of adventures just while we were sleeping. This is the reality of what's going on right now, especially for light workers, people who resonate with that term, and light warriors who are very much, you know, sort of in this space of I was going to say fighting for light. We don't need to do that because the light is always there, but this sense of reclaiming ourselves and reorganizing ourselves back to our original ways, and that means shedding a whole lot of other stuff and a whole lot of endings and new beginnings, and reconstituting everything that we stand for, and making sure that we are standing in that light, in our light. And as we stand in our light, we also encourage others to stand in their light, which brings me back to this card where I feel as if you are somebody who really does stand in their light, and perhaps doesn't even recognize just the huge amount of light that you do radiate out to other people. And there's a need right now, you know, through these changing times, through these shifts, for you to be able to come back to you, and for you to almost hear your own advice. So spirit would be saying to you what you find yourself saying to other people. You know, for example, speak to yourself with kindness, hold yourself in love, be the love that you need, be the hero, the heroine, the person that you need, and find the peace that you need. And the peace that you need right now in your current journey is to be with yourself. The peace you need, you're very much going to find from yourself before you're going to find it with anybody else right now, I would suggest. So and again, only take this if it resonates, but there's this sense of having to go within, having to bring all parts of you back together, having to go within and very much look at who you are. And also I'm imagining that you're also doing rather a lot of shadow work right now. There's rather a lot of shadow work going on right now, and that's meaning that anything that has been feeling very triggering for you, that you perhaps have been seeing in other people around you, or seeing within yourself, or all parts of you that maybe feel difficult, fearful, in fact, the monsters within, they're not really monsters. And look at this, all these three came, so I'm going to bring them. All these three came. They're not monsters at all. In fact, they are just the wounds. They are the fears, the wounds, the insecurities that probably have been there for maybe lifetimes, maybe since childhood, maybe from your inner child, anything you faced in those early years or in lifetimes before. They are those voices coming up to be heard. So really, how would you speak to these voices? You know, if this was your child, how would you speak to them? If this was your friend, how would you speak to your friend? What would you say? And would you be unkind? No, I don't think you would. I'm sure you would be very kind. You'd be very loving. You'd be very compassionate. You'd be very warm and nurturing. You'd be offering them safe space. And this is what spirit, angels, guides and helpers are saying to you at this point in your journey, on this day in your journey even. Come back to yourself, find a quiet space, find a loving space, somewhere that feels like home. Maybe it is going to be at home. Somewhere that you feel safe, where you can allow these voices of the shadows within you to rise up, to be heard, to be given the love that they so desperately are needing. That's all they need. When you see people acting out, when you see unkindness, when you see hatred, there's no excuse for putting that onto other people, you know. And if we don't deal with our shadows, if we don't confront our shadows and look at them, then, you know, what's going to end up happening at some point is they are going to be coming out. You know, they are going to be shown. They are going to be shown to other people, and you know, that's not necessary. And especially now at this time when the world is as it is and everything as it is, and we are where we are in our evolution, there's no hiding from this anymore. There's no hiding from any masks that you might have had to wear or put on, or from other people's either, because we're all having to confront ourselves and deal with ourselves and come back to our true selves. And that's going to mean at some point in life, when we feel ready and able, because it is big work, and it's work that really needs kindness and love and compassion, that we face these voices that I'm saying voices, what I mean by that is the wounds, the fears, the insecurities, the embarrassment, the shame, the guilt, whatever it is, and it will be different for everybody. It's about embracing this now, and by embracing it, it means allowing it to come back to you, to be heard, allowing this part of you to be looked at. So if there was something in your childhood that happened that made you feel embarrassed, ashamed, guilty, afraid, now is the time to allow that part of you to speak to you again. Allow them to tell you what they need, what's happened, what's wrong with them. Allow yourself to give them the trust and the love and the compassion to be reclaimed into you, you know, as part of you, to be accepted, to be loved, to be heard. Sometimes that's all it takes, is just to be heard, to be given safe space, to be listened to. Sometimes that's all that's needed. Other times it's just about a loving, tender voice, a way of just accepting and saying, I reclaim you now. I'm giving you a safe space. You can trust me. What do you need to feel safe? And giving that thing to your shadow to allow them to come back to the light, for you to be integrated, for you to be reclaiming them as part of your whole self. And that doesn't mean dismissing them or hiding them or being ashamed of them. It means allowing yourself to hear yourself and bring it back to you as part of who you really are, and accepting that's happened to you, and giving yourself that love and that home, that place to allow yourself to come home to you, that beautiful radiant sunshine, that light that is you, to integrate the shadow as part of it, becoming whole and perfect as that whole entity. And as it does, it is just reclaimed by the light. It is the light. You know, we can also use other tools for this. So maybe you like the violet flame. The violet flame is a beautiful tool of transmutation. It alchemizes anything that we're finding difficult to transmute. You know, we can use the violet flame, we can call on the violet flame. There are many ways of doing this, and I may do another video on that another time. But you can call on the violet flame through a mantra, an affirmation, and use it to just bring everything back to the light, and just gently alchemize and transmute anything that you're wanting to bring back to the light, to become the light again. It is still the light. You know, the shadow is really working for the light ultimately anyway, because it allows you to very much accept yourself as whole, to very much know yourself as the perfection and the beauty that you are. And look at this, we've got sanctuary again, which was what this card was reminding me of. You know, there you are wanted. There is a home waiting within. Allow yourself to feel wanted. If you've been feeling rejected in life, if you've been feeling alone, reclaim yourself back to you. Connect to that part of you that is so strong, that is so loving, that is so abundant. And look, do you see how she's offering a safe space for this beautiful hair to come into, a safe place from all of the troubles and the perceived threats on the outside. She's offering this safe space. Mother Earth is offering this beautiful sanctuary from anything that is not love. And this is what you can do today for yourself. So really, I feel I'm going to bring this one because this one showed itself as well. This is what you're coming back to. This is ultimately what this work is doing. It's bringing you back to joy, to the wholeness and the perfection of you, to allow yourself to see yourself, even with all of the things that you see as imperfections, to understand that you're not anything other than perfectly you. You are beautiful, you are whole, you are healed. Any moment that you decide to reclaim all these parts of yourself and bring them back to the whole, allow them to be this whole beautiful being, this being that is you, this being of light, of joy. That is your true nature. It is your true nature. Remember that fear is only false evidence appearing real. It's not true, not really. It feels it, and it is it when we're experiencing it, isn't it? We're not dismissing that, but what we're saying is we can make fear feel loved. We can make shame feel loved. We can make any of these things feel accepted as part of us. And as we accept them and we love them and we soothe ourselves back to kindness, back to joy, back to love, then eventually these things are no longer triggers, you know, anymore. They're no longer poking us or making us feel wounded or weak or unstable, because they've been integrated, they've been reclaimed, and they've been brought back to the light. And as they're brought back to the light, then it's this feeling of wholeness and joy again, this feeling of knowing that you can conquer anything, you can deal with any of the life's challenges, because you are strong within. You are your sanctuary, you are your safe space. And I think, beautiful ones, that is the message. The messages for today. I'm just going to show you this one, which was also here. Companionship. You are not alone. Allow yourself to feel this love that you very much can give to yourself on your journey and your pathway today. Today is just a little stop for some shadow work, some inner child work. That's what these messages are saying. Where you are right now, this is the work. This is the true work as you come back into this sanctuary that is you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening to my messages today. If they resonate with you and if you like them, please do like, share and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next reading. Be very, very gentle with yourselves. This is big work. Lots of love.